Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, or possibly just welcome, because we are beginning a new series. The 0.24 update is out, also known as First Contract, and so of course we're going to play that, because it's so much more awesome, especially in career mode, which is of course what I'm doing. So, first of all, I think I'll run you through the basic systems, because I've had a bit of a play, got myself familiarized with them, so I'll talk you through. So here you can see we have money. Money works how you expect it to. You spend money on rocket parts. Each rocket part has a price, and so it means that each rocket that you build has a price based on those parts. You can get money back if you recover a craft that has parts on it, and you recover the value of those parts. But like minus fuel and things like that, and maybe there's a loss of value for just usage of the part. I haven't checked that really. Probably should have done. But that's that. And then here we have our what do you call it? Reputation. So it can go up to green and down to red and so on and so forth based on whether or not you kill Kerbals. If Kerbals get back fine, then you get reputation. If Kerbals die, then you get bad reputation. And the better your reputation, the more missions and the cooler missions that you get, so that you can do more epic stuff with that. And then here we have science as usual, which is now put on a readout up here to help with being useful. We've got a couple of things here. We've got this button. This is contract, so it shows the contracts that you currently have set up, which is of course the main... clicked a thing, whoops, anyway, which is the main thing that this update shows. I accidentally went in there. Well, the buttons are still here. Actually, we do need to go back out because we need to get ourselves some contracts. So yes, you have various contracts. People tell you to do things, and they'll give you a money reward if you do them. And then once you've completed them, this button here will fill up with notifications saying, "Yay, you completed a thing. Here's some money," and things like that. So the place to get contracts is here. So let's just hop right in. There's our friend Gene Kerman, and this is the missions that we have right now. So we have launch a new vessel. That's obviously easy, so we'll accept that. This is set an altitude record of 5 kilometers. We can accept that. Well, technically, these particular ones we can accept them anyway, because obviously we're going to get there one day and they never expire. So we have all the time in the world. Here's our active contracts now, so we can do all of this stuff. And archives, where we'll have stuff once we've finished it. We can switch to all, and it's all the ones that are not active anymore, I guess. So what we'll try and do is launch a new vessel and set an altitude record of 5 kilometers, and we'll try and do that in one go at the beginning. And you can see what we've done. We've accepted these contracts, so now we have more money, which is excellent. Before, I think we had 10,000, we now have 36,000 because we got advanced payments for various things. So we'll hop back into the VAB this time properly and without accidentally pressing buttons. So you can see we've got our money counter down the bottom here, and then this is how much money our rocket will cost. So if you select the Command Pod Mark 1, you can see immediately our rocket cost is now 600. This does not take off this, I believe, until we have actually launched the rocket. Here's the flag I'm using. It's the windsock, because it makes our flags practical and useful and things. So we've got all the basic stuff as usual. You can see things have been sort of shifted around here, but they all work basically the same. It's just this new feature down here. Different symbols now for some of, I think the here maybe, I don't know, whatever. And that's pretty much it for within the building. So what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a rocket. It doesn't have to be very complicated at all. So we'll do that. And then we'll get ourselves a parachute so we don't die. And then usually this will actually, well, what we would do is just add this on here. I'll just stick this on here. It doesn't matter if we're not quite balanced, because this is a very basic launch. And this thing weighs nothing really. So at this point I would launch this, but you see the new recovery system means that it's now a good idea to recover what you can. So I'm going to grab some of these modular girder segments. I'm going to stick 2 of them on, and they will extend below this booster. And what that means is that we'll land on these when we land, and these are more sturdy, and it means that we won't blow up this big old engine when we land, which means we will keep the value. So you know, it's a good idea. So let's see, staging, pretty simple, that and then that, and then we'll call this rocket 1 because it's not important apart from the fact that it is the first rocket. So you can see we've got a price tag of 1,697. That is very cheap, really, because this thing is made of nothing. So we'll go launch it and see what we can do. So here we are on the launch pad. Jebediah coming into view. There he is. So now we need to make sure we don't kill Jebediah, and that we recover as much of the rocket as possible. So it's all interesting now. Right, you can see there's all these different buttons now, as well as, so this is contracts. You can now see they all have the contracts in them. You can click on them to close them, but if you well, sometimes they'll have multiple conditions. So it'll be like, be at this altitude and be at this speed. And if one of these becomes satisfied, then the tab will open and show you the rest of the details of the contract, so you can be ready to go with it. So we also have the usual menu with all the fuels and things, and we also have this, which just has our money, reputation, and science. And I'm guessing this is the science of the current mission, or something like that. I can't be sure, but we'll find out when we go. Also, the throttle now starts at the halfway point, just to, because it's more helpful. Because usually you want to throttle up to full when you start, so they might as well have it nearer to there and speed things up. We'll stick SAS on for what little help it does. This thing has no throttle, so we'll just go. And off we fly. So we're shooting up, accelerating at crazy speeds, about 5G for a second there. So immediately we have a message. We've completed the launch a new vessel contract. It's given us £4,500, 5 units of science, which is good as a new way to get science, and 10 reputation. So we'll bin that for now. We're just binning the message. And our solid fuel's running out. Oh, but since then we've passed 5,000, so we now have this one. This gives us 2,200. It doesn't give us any science, but it gives us 10 reputation. Once again, bin that too. And now if we go onto here, you can see 5 science, and also our reputation has twitched up just a little bit. The way this works is there's a slider, and the slider moves rather than the pointer moving. So so you can see the blue is now this way more because we are moving more into the green area. Anyway, we're reaching the peak of our flight. So once we do that, we're going quite high as well. Pretty good start, and we're getting to the peak right about now, and we will transmit this science that comes from flying over Kerbin shores. I'll start dropping down. I'll deploy this parachute to keep us safe, and at this point we can start warping, and we'll go back to this. Look at our electric charge, because that's the important thing right now, because of course we need that for transmitting science. That's the thing, you sort of forget. Like I was playing it a bit and I sort of forgot about doing science because I was busy earning money and reputation, which was interesting. So you can choose all sorts of different ways of doing it, like doing science and money at the same time, or having money earning missions followed by science gaining missions funded by the money earning missions, and so on. Anyway, our parachute's deployed, so let us just gently drop down to the surface, going at 8 meters a second because of the weight of the booster, which is enough to destroy the booster. But of course we have put these struts on either side, and I'm pretty sure they are worth the money because we'll get them back. There we go. We'll get the struts back, and we will also get the rocket itself back. So if we press recover now, and it'll wait a moment while it processes. You can see our money shot up to 43,000 now. So we have our science readout here as usual. We've now got 13 science total. If we press next, it will now show us the parts that we recovered and the money that we get back. And it's discounted for each part because they've been used, but it's pretty good. So the solid fuel booster, that gives us a good £63. The command pod gives us a huge amount of money. That's where a lot of the money lies. The parachute is also very expensive, and the communitron, whereas the boosters and the girders are a lot cheaper. And also we get back money for the fuel that we recover. So of course we used up all our solid fuel, but we had some monopropellant left, and we got some money for that, which puts us up to, well, it puts us up to that. So we regained £1,400 from that mission. And how was it, 1,600 to start with, or something like that? It might have been. And then we press next, and it shows us the recovered crew. Of course, this is fairly unimportant at this level where it's just Jebediah, but you can see it gave us 25 reputation for bringing a Kerbal back safely from wherever we sent him. So we'll press done with that, and here we are back at the main base, and I do believe we've got time for another little mission. So we'll hop into here. You can see we now got an altitude record of 22 kilometers. So we'll accept that, and you can see we now have testing missions. Now the way this works is, let's go into this one. So this is test the Mark 16 parachute in flight over Kerbin. There's a little bit of random text here. It's got an expiry date. Basically, you have to accept this within 1 day and 5 hours, or you won't get it. and by that it's actually 2 Kerbin days, because Kerbin days take 6 hours. And then if you've accepted it, you will have 1 year to complete the mission. Now, there's various conditions that need to be met, so you need to be testing the parachute, so you need to activate it, and you need to be in the Kerbin area, you need to be flying, so in the atmosphere, and your altitude needs to be this, so it's within this 8-kilometer band that you have to do it, and you need to be within this 400 meter per second band of speed to do it as well. All of these have to be satisfied at the same time, so it can be a bit fiddly sometimes if they want you to go really fast, really low, or really slow, really high, or something like that. You have to be careful to get it right. So I don't think I'll do one of these right now. I'll do it in maybe the next episode or whatever. But there's one more thing about it, which is that I don't think... now here we have a stack decoupler one, so I will accept this. So we'll accept that contract. You can see we go back to our active, we've got these ones now in our archives, we've got those 2 that we completed today. So we'll go back and we'll go into... we'll do some science first. Actually, we will not, because you see, this science will give us the stack decoupler. At the moment, we do not have that decoupler. Now, if we go into the vehicle assembly building, you will see that if we go along to here, we have the stack decoupler, and it's blue. The reason for this is that it has been given to us temporarily by the company that manufactures them, because they have given us a mission to test them. So you can see we go down here, and we have our stack decoupler test here. So they've said, we want you to test this part, here is the part, please test it, and then we'll give you a reward for it. And what that means is that you can access parts before you actually have researched them. And you can abuse this in a couple of ways, like taking the part and then using it in every way but the way they want you to, so that it never gets completed and they keep giving you new ones, or whatever. But it's an interesting thing that you sort of get access to new in-development parts that are not yet fully tested, and you are the one testing them. That's the sort of thing that you're going for. So we'll hop back out now, just for a second, because I do want to go do some research. So I'll hop here, do this, research that, and we don't have enough to research anything else yet, but that's given us a lovely selection of new parts. So we'll go back into the vehicle assembly building, and we will modify this rocket we have here. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll get our decoupler. So what is the test conditions? Let me see. Test while landed. Well, that's an interesting one then. What we can do, and that will nicely round off our episode, is we can just sit on the pad and go. So we'll get this mystery goo containment unit that we've just researched. We'll just stick that on the side, mount it on there, and hopefully we won't fall over. And we'll get rid of the parachutes as well. We're not going to use any of this. We only have the basic equipment, because we'll call this Rocket 2, even though it's not a rocket, it can't rocket. We'll save that and launch it, and this will get us a contract completed. So we've hopped out into here, and we've got our scientific equipment on the back, so I'll do a mystery goo test. And of course we get it from the launch pad, but you know, science is science at the end of the day. We'll do a crew report, we'll keep that, and actually let's hop out for a second. Let go. We'll do an EVA report, and we'll do a surface sample, and then we'll grab, and once we climb up a bit we will hop back in. So that's all that science done, and now all we need to do is press space. There we go, the decoupler decoupled, and we got a message, because they wanted us to test the decoupler while landed. So we were landed, and we fired it, and of course we got some reward. It was a very small amount, because it was a very simple test, so we only got £100 basically. 2 science though, which is nice. I suppose contributing to the tech tree or something like that. And then we got a little bit of reputation for it, so we'll bin that. And that's our mission there, so we'll recover. And once we go back to the base, you can see our reputation has hopped up again. We're now properly in the green. We've got a lot more science now, because of course we did a bunch while we were in that mission, and we got a little bit more money. Actually, we've got less money than before, so maybe it wasn't worth the thing, because we didn't recover the actual decoupler, but it will be on the launch pad, so next time I launch something, that will be recovered and give us the money then, I'm pretty sure. So we got some nice funds and so on and so forth, and whichever die is fine, which means we get more reputation, which is a bit broken, honestly, getting 25 reputation for someone surviving a decoupler being fired on the launch pad. Maybe that's something they need to tweak. Of course, this is the first edition of the new update, and they'll be bringing out patches most likely to fix any little bugs that crop up and so on and so forth, and just sort of tweak things to make them nicer. So anyway, that is pretty much it. We'll hop into the science thing and just do a little bit of research before we go. We will do these, because landing legs are now a lot more valuable because they give you a bunch of money, basically. And then we'll hop out. So there we go. That is a quick overview of the new 0.24 update and the first episode of my new series. So you'll be able to go and watch the next episodes once they're out and see me going through the first contract campaign and doing all sorts of parts testing and cool things like that and earning money, because we can do that now. So I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.